day. Sir. Let's get on to the birthdays. We got a long list today. Speaking of Ben Slinger, we have 3 birthdays on the 24th, Ben being one of them, along with Art Morris and Arthur Gardner. Bob Caputo, May the 25th, and Dr. Dale Goodwin on May the 28th, Kevin Horn on May the 29th. And flipping the page over to the anniversaries, George Flowers and Laura on May 26th, Stephanie Walker and Sean May 29th, Daniel 2 and Amanda on June the 2nd, Doug Blankenship and Helen on June 3rd. And I don't know what's going on with the month of June, but June 5th, 4 anniversaries to celebrate on June 5th, obviously all from different years, as you'll discover when I announce the people that are celebrating. Stephen Holloman and Caitlin on June 5th, Wade Palmer and Angela, along with Samuel Prim and Amy, and Mr. John Watson and Gail, all celebrating on June 5th. Hope you all have a fantastic week. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. So for our introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians, Demetrius. He's got a long list today, but we are so excited to have you parents and teachers with us.
Rotarian President, I believe I have the longest list of guests so far. So we'll start with David Hasty. As I called your name, I'm standing for us. David Hasty, John Love, host of guest of Larry Williams. Felicia Chambers, guest of President Sheila Azar. Lee Jacobs, guest of Stephanie Walker. We have Davis Malone, guest of Charles Button. Asia McNeil, guest of Bruce McNeil. And Colton Cruton, guest of Dean Mitchell. And this group, what I'm about to call it now, are all guests of the club. If you don't mind, I call you understanding. Nellie McCord, Dennis McCord, Taylor McCord, Michael Johnson, Hillip Cooper, Katrina Cooper, Neil Martin, Rakia Watford, Jacoby Flowers, Hannah Cooper, Lori Shaganisi. You just murdered your last name, I'm sorry. Jonathan Dismukes, Evelyn Parker, Marisol B, and Isabel B. Welcome to the club.
All right, Camp Haskell, Lawrence. $62 points today. Something happened last week, something big. So the last score, 83-82. 83-82. Pretty sure. It's worth coming up here and trying, guys. $83-82. Now we've never had this happen before. Thank you, Rick. I hope you win. Got an ace. Thank you, Mark. Mark's got drafted on the way to the door. Okay, White Elephant sale. We're still compiling the numbers. It's looking like it's going to be close to 40,000, but if you have not paid, please go ahead and do that so we can wrap it up and give you a definite number. And Kelly is working on that. She's still not feeling well, but see Heather if you know that you haven't paid, you have something outstanding. All right, Mr. Gardner, there you are. Come recognize our 4-H winners.
For over 70 years, the Dothan Rotary Club has been providing a watched outstanding 4-H club member in Houston County. And today is no exception. Micah Johnson, our extension director here in Houston County, is here to present our recipients for this year. Micah.
On behalf of Extension of 4-H, we appreciate y'all having us stop. They have so many accomplishments. This is for our outstanding 4-H achievement, and I had to bring notes because of all of them. First is Isabella Beatty. Isabella is the daughter of Christopher and Marisol Beatty, and she is a 9th grader at Ridgecrest Christian School. Her post-high school plans are to attend a university in Florida and pursue a degree in marine biology. Isabella has always been passionate about animals and found opportunities through 4-H for community involvement, as well as learning more about animals. She started participating in the 4-H Chick Chain project when she was 8 and has continued that for a number of years. Through 4-H, she has also participated in dog obedience training, educational events at Sling Bluff Elementary and Landmark Park, incubation projects, gardening projects, and has helped with setting up National Peanut Festival booths. She is a 4-H council officer, Wiregrass 4-H council officer, 4-H talent show winner, and won the 2021 state peanut essay contest. She is a very accomplished pianist. She has, and I hope I get this right, Isabella, I don't know anything about piano. She was trying to explain to me her accomplishments, so I'm gonna give it a shot. She has a superior rating in her sonata for 2016-22 and a perfect score for 4 years in her sonata. The National Guild Honor Superior Rating from 2017 to 19. A member of the Alabama Music Teacher Association from 2019 to 2022. She's also part of the Wiregrass Christian Beta Club from 20 to 21. Future Leaders of the Wiregrass 21 to 22. She's participated in the Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy and has also obtained her open water scuba certification in 2020. Isabella Beatty. The next recipient is Taylor McCord. He is the son of Dennis and Natalie McCord from Cottonwood High School. He's a freshman. He is a member of the Cottonwood High School varsity football team and varsity baseball team. He is the historian for Cottonwood FFA chapter for the 22-23 school year. He represented Cottonwood FFA at the National Peanut Festival, the Pig Scramble, where he took home his pig peanut last year. He has been in Houston County and Cottonwood 4-H, where he has served on the student council and as a Wiregrass ambassador. He has participated in local and regional competitions at Troy University for freestyle showcase, extreme birdhouse, photography, and junior achievement. He has been involved in the Houston County Chick Chain for 3 years and has shown in the National Peanut Festival poultry show multiple times. He's also volunteered at the Peanut Festival poultry show and hog shows. He has also been involved in the embryology project where he incubated chicken eggs and watched them hatch and develop and raised them to show in the poultry show. So he's raised them from egg to showtime. Taylor, with the assistance of his younger brother Eli, participated in the big school where he raised big and was unable to show due to the COVID pandemic. Before the COVID pandemic, Taylor volunteered at Extended Care Nursing Home Rehabilitation, where he helped out with their Sunday church services by transporting the residents in wheelchairs to the service. He is an active member of the Union Hill Baptist Church Youth Group. When he is not involved in extracurricular activities, he will probably be found on a peanut or cotton field driving a tractor. He also helps out with the harvesting of watermelons and helping to take care of the family cattle operation. After high school, Taylor hopes to attend Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College and major in agronomy and soils to later help family farm Cord Farms. Taylor McCord.
And just stay right there so parents. So thank thank you guys for being here. Congratulations, parents. I know you're very proud of them. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Arthur, for putting it all together for us. Cheat sheet back. All right. So last week, we had a few essays. Today, we're going to have some speeches. And Lori was with us last week, so you'll remember her. I'm going to ask her to come forward and make introductions and let students present.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here yet again, the second week. And I have three amazing students with us today, two of which are from Dothan High School and one from Carver Ninth Grade Academy. I'll introduce them one at a time. They're all very special and very unique. Our first speaker today is Jacoby Flowers. Jacoby is a junior at Dothan High School taking honors classes. He is passionate about art, and after high school, he plans on pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering. Please welcome Jacoby Flowers.
My name is Jacoby Flowers, and today I'm going to be presenting my minutes of this speech. Did you ever wonder why most teens and young adults in today's society have an addiction problem with drugs and alcohol? Addiction can have a wide range of behaviors and what they're using certain drugs for. Addiction in today's society is widely known to be in adolescents and young adults and have bigger meanings for them. It's normal when they start this habit, but later on can turn into an addiction when it becomes uncontrollable. Once this happens, it can lead to very bad consequences such as depression, stress, suicide, and even anxiety. People who are weak-minded are more likely to get hooked on drugs and alcohol. Any habit that can subdue you and you can't stop doing is considered addiction. Most people that take drugs don't understand how fatal it can be and disregard the consequences behind their actions. Certain statistics will even tell you about the large quantities of people that smoke and drink in today's society and how it has risen over the years, their reasoning for why they do it, and the effects and consequences behind their actions. According to certain statistics among certain teens and others who smoke and drink alcohol, around 30% of 12th graders haven't used or consumed any substances during their lifetime. Adolescents who start drinking before the age of 15 are 7 times more likely to develop a disorder to alcohol abuse as adults than those who wait after the age of 18. Almost 3/4 of 8th graders disapprove of smoking marijuana on a daily basis. 63% of high schoolers disapprove using this uncanny drug, and even around more than 90,000 students died from substance abuse in 2020. Early initiation drinking is associated with the development of alcohol abuse later in life. Underage drinking is one of the leading causes of death amongst people aged 12 to 20 years. Marijuana among adolescents is linked to a decline in a person's IQ and coincides with more kids dropping out of school. Teens who learn about drugs are 50% less likely to use drugs than those who don't. 9 out of 10 people with addiction started during their teen years, and the most common ages to start is around ages 13 to 14 years. I will list the reasons for why people use drug and alcohol consumption in today's world. 1, trying to fit in or follow the crowd. They feel that if they do this, they can feel superior or accepted by others. 2, to make themselves feel better. When this occurs, it normally produces feelings of pleasure. 3, trying to exceed in their schooling. Sometimes when others use stimulants and fail in their classes, they use this ability in trying to improve their academic performance. 4, experimenting. Teens will use this if they want to be curious and try new experiences that are risky and dangerous. 5, stress. Some teens are overwhelmed with everything that's happening around them. This puts them under pressure, and they try to relieve the stress. 6, genetics. Some are even prone to doing it if a close family member is doing it. This is because they'll naturally pick up what they see their parents or other people doing. And 7, alienation and isolation. Others who lack self-confidence and are alone use this method to cope with their emotions. While most teens think it's okay to do drugs, it isn't good if you neglect bad things that happen behind it when it becomes an issue. These are the side effects that other parents and others should look for when they witness or know somebody that is doing drugs. The smell of tobacco or beer, behavioral changes, red light eyes, constant headaches, fever, nausea, uncoordinated balance, dizziness, changes in eating and sleeping patterns, not willing to do any schoolwork, grades plummeting, skipping classes, or school for the whole day, feelings of loneliness, depression, stress, risk taking, trying to injure themselves, trying or thinking about committing suicide, and also eating disorders. Symptoms that happen between each person vary, but also depends on the substance or behavior that is involved. One thing that every addiction shares, negative consequences. In conclusion, if I was a motivational speaker, therapist, or even a counselor, I would give anybody who has an addiction some advice and some guidance on what happens when you get hooked on drugs and what kind of methods they should follow in order to prevent this from happening again. I think that all parents should talk to their kids about the dangers and effects on drugs can have upon them and why they shouldn't do it in the future. Vaping, smoking, marijuana, cigarettes, overdosing on pills and other pain medications, narcotics, and drinking excessive amounts of beer is not a joke. Others who face the consequences are more likely to stop doing it because they already know what it's like to do drugs and are less likely want to go through the consequences of wanting to do it. It's never too late to seek help from a person you trust with trying to overcome drug abuse because even though I've never went through that cycle, I understand how difficult it might be for others who are willing to fight off their addictions. But I want to end off this speech by saying, don't do drugs.
Thank you, Jacoby. And I failed to mention the two adults I have sitting at the table with me, and I apologize. Mr. Jonathan Dismukes is our instructional coach at Dothan High School, and Evelyn Parker is the assistant principal at Carver Ninth Grade Academy, both of which helped to help me get all of this organized at each event, so I'm very appreciative for both of them. Thank you. Our next speaker is Rakia Wofford. She is also a junior at Dothan High School. She's taking honors and AP courses. She is a National Honor Society member, and she intends on pursuing a master's degree in business with eventually becoming an accountant. Please welcome Ms. Rakia Wofford.
Like she said, I'm Rakia Walker, and I'll be giving the same speech that Jacoby did. Don't you enjoy the weekends where you party until 1 a.m. and you're blacking out, going in and out of consciousness from all the substances you consumed? You shouldn't. This is the beginning of addiction. 2.08 million, or 8.33% of 12 to 17-year-olds nationwide report using drugs in the last month. 1.9 million 12 to 17-year-olds report binge drinking in the last month. These numbers are steadily increasing, and these substances are slowly killing our youth. Substance abuse is causing our youth to become sick and depressed and unable to complete daily tasks. Our young people are hurting and tiring out the people they love the most. Even worse, they're hurting innocent people by being intoxicated. Many young people also don't understand the effects that substances have on the body, which is why they continue to consume it. 4,700 Americans aged 15 to 24 years old died of an overdose of illicit drugs in 1 year. Even though that might not seem like a large number, it's enough. Many teenagers don't realize they are abusing substances until it's too late and they aren't able to help themselves. Environmental factors that may increase a person's risk of addiction include a chaotic home environment and abuse, parents' drug use and attitudes towards drugs, peer influence, communities' attitudes towards drugs, and poor academic achievement. Many teenagers' parents or closest people around them don't know about their abuse until it's too late. Sometimes this can start by peer pressure or just by pure curiosity. Using drugs and drinking alcohol is becoming so normalized that our youth can literally get these substances from anyone, no matter their age. So many people think just because marijuana can be prescribed by doctors that it's still the healthy use, but it's not. In 2020, almost 100,000 people overdosed from drugs, which is almost 5 times the amount in 1999. Let's not forget about alcohol though. Each year, about 5,000 people under the age of 21 die from underage drinking. DrugAbuseStatistics.org says that by the age of 12, children have already been introduced to alcohol and has tried it themselves. So many teenagers drive while drunk because they think they are capable of handling the road, but unfortunately, they end up injuring others or themselves. NHTSA.gov says about 28 people in the United States die in a drunk driving accident every day. These deaths are all preventable, and that's why we have so many advocates for this topic. Not only that, but about 6% of American adults have an alcohol disorder. Only about 7% of these people ever get treatment. The effects of drug abuse are significantly painful and can be avoided. So many people lack the knowledge of the effects that drugs have on the body and mind. Some of the most damaging effects are to the liver. GatewayFoundation.org says increased strain on liver, which puts the person at risk of significant liver damage or liver failure, which can kill you. I know this from experience because a girl I grew up with had an alcoholic mom. This started when she was around my age and carried on with her throughout her life. All I ever seen her drink was Four Locos every single day. She would have mood swings, but was one of the most loving people ever. One day, after school, I came home and was told that she was in the hospital for liver failure and that she didn't have much time left. She was in the hospital for about a month and a half and she died. Drinking alcohol killed her liver. She left her 5 kids behind to live without her, and if we as a society can keep this from happening, we should. Substance abuse disorders can lead to short-term or long-term behavioral issues, paranoia, aggressiveness, impaired judgment, and loss of self-control. My dad was an abuser, and all the things previously listed affected him and the relationships he had with his family. Because of substance abuse, he was mad and made bad choices that would affect him for the rest of his life. He was always rude and easily irritated, which would cause him to speak poorly of others and start critical arguments. This caused him to develop a bad relationship with his children, including me. That's how powerful addiction can be, to the point where it could kill you or it can make everyone around you grow to hate you. This is why there are so many ways to prevent substance abuse and addiction. The first step to prevention is realizing how substance abuse develops so you're aware when it is getting out of control. Avoid temptation and peer pressure. It's easy to give into these things as you might want to impress others. Third, examine risk factors. Look at your family's history of mental illness and addiction. Disease tends to run in the family, but can be prevented. Don't allow for addiction to take over, because not only does it affect the user, but the people around them. Drug use can affect you more than emphasize. Teenagers can become dependent on said drug and can be at increased risk for serious drug use later in life. Excessive drug use can also lead to depression, which is associated with suicide. When it gets to this point, many parents become worried and desperate for help to save their children. Treatment becomes families' last hope. Many treatment centers offer behavioral counseling, medication, and long-term follow-up to prevent relapse. They also work up specific plans and routines to fit each patient. The goal of treatment is to help the person stop using drugs, stay drug-free, be productive in the family, at work, and in society. Successful treatment has several steps such as detoxification, behavioral counseling, medication, and evaluation and treatment for co-occurring mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety. However, treatment can be expensive and leave some families in debt. Some rehab programs can range from $6,000 to $20,000 just for a 30-day stay. Why put your family through this when you can just educate yourself about these addictive substances you consume? You have your whole life to do whatever you want, but as a teenager, we need to be more aware of choices we make, because these are choices that we could possibly deal with for the rest of our lives. We need to start thinking about the long-term effects of the choices we make, because even though you see it as something cool you can do with your friends, it's something that could potentially ruin your life. Now, while you might not listen to me because I have no authority over you, just ask yourself, do you want to be hospital bound for the rest of your life? Do you want to suffer from lung issues? Do you want your family grieving because they lost you to something you could have avoided? Be the change that we need in society. Encourage the younger generations to break the cycle. Be different and be substance free. Say no to drugs.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker, Hannah Cooper, is a ninth grader at Carver Ninth Grade Academy. She is an AV honor roll student and enjoys activities such as soccer, painting, and singing in school choir. She is also very involved in school and was even chosen 1 out of 3 school senators. Besides soccer, her outside of school activities include relaxing and watching Netflix and hanging out with her friends. She enjoys working out in order to prepare for another soccer season. She also has a little brother that attends DPA and two very heavily supportive parents. When Hannah graduates, she wishes to attend Tuskegee University to obtain a doctorate degree in medicine. Please welcome Hannah Cooper.
I'm here to present how we presenting the forward-learning test through the influence of social media. Social media is a huge part of today's society. Within just a few clicks, you're addicted. A minute quickly turns into an hour, and next thing you know, it's 2 in the morning. Although social media has some positives like being able to connect with people while looking at pictures of cute puppies, it's also notorious for setting trends. With social media comes Photoshop, filters, and fake lives, and an unhealthy mindset. Teens and young adults often fall victim to these false lives and grow greatly insecure, leading to low self-esteem, anxiety, and even depression. They start to think that they're not pretty enough, that they're not skinny enough, that they're not enough. I myself have a hard time grappling with my self-image. Then I look at myself, then at the models on my phone, and think, why don't I look like them? This is a struggle with, if not all, most teens and young adults. From my standpoint, social media is the cause for the younger generations, insecurities, and low self-confidence. What better way to trial social media than to the 4-way rotary test? Question 1, is it the truth? While I would like to say no, the ultimate answer is yes. Although the internet is filled with funny cat videos and radical jokes, it's also dominated by internet trolls and false lives. Now, what is an internet troll? According to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, an internet troll is a person who intentionally agonizes others online by posting inflammatory or irrelevant content, or just offensive comments. In other words, trolls love to add unnecessary flame to the fire. They thrive especially on popular social media platforms. In 2017, the British Broadcasting Network reported that an 18-year-old girl named Victoria was driven to extreme anxiety due to internet trolls. They took pictures of her house. They even posted her face on inappropriate material. Victoria states, I'm now on anxiety tablets. It's knocked my confidence. I don't even go out of the house that often. This is one example of how these trolls ruin lives. They cause distress and unhealthy mental health. Additionally, mental health is steadily going downhill for young people, and social media is the prime suspect. Celebs, models, influencers, they only post the golden moments. They set unreal examples for the younger generation with Photoshop filters and Facetune. A 10-year BYU study shows that as social media began to influence the internet, it also began to influence the number of suicides. Researchers have begun to link the two together, concluding that social media is the prime suspect. Question 2, is it fair to all concerned? Considering the amount of influencers who use Photoshop and filters to set fake beauty standards, it isn't quite fair at all. It isn't fair to the young girls who look at models' bodies and want to become something that isn't even real. Kim Kardashian is notorious for using Photoshop and failing, resulting in being caught out on almost all social media platforms. Kim K has also had many surgeries to change how she looks. She is only one of many influencers and celebs who hides behind procedures and Photoshop. Young people look at individuals like her and begin to self-doubt their looks. Creators who do makeup tutorials are another prime example. They use lights and filters to make their makeup seem seamless, which is not the case. The creator's makeup may look smooth while yours looks cakey. Makeup tutorials fail to visualize the texture of one's face. Your face has texture, which results in the makeup that you're wearing on your face to have texture too. Question 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Although social media can expand personal relationships and it can also tear them apart, especially in today's society when you can hide behind a screen. With politics, religion, and other big topics, along with the freedom of speech, the answer would have to be no. The power of posting is just too great for some individuals. People will post embarrassing pictures of other people or just mean comments. The victims in these situations are often left depressed or self-conscious of themselves. Thus, the notion of social media building friendships that are long-lasting are little to none. Question 4. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? While social media platforms are beneficial to some celebrities and companies to advertise their products, it's not beneficial to everyone involved in social media. Studies have shown a 70% increase in depression and anxiety over the past 25 years due to social media. Regarding embarrassing posts, there is also cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is when an individual makes fun or teases someone online. Cyberbullying is one of the leading causes of suicide in the U.S. In fact, 44% of U.S. internet users have stated that they've been cyberbullied at some point. Cyberbullying also leads to low self-esteem and anxiety. In conclusion, social media has failed the 4-way Rotary test. It causes harm to self-esteem and mental health, but it can all be prevented. By reducing your time on the internet, one can feel more confident and have more energy. By reducing time on the internet, one can have a healthier and happier mindset. By reducing time on the internet, you can become a better you.
Parents for being here. Everyone who had a part in that, we appreciate you. Jack and Mark, would you come forward, please? We want to welcome Mark today as a new member of Rotary. He's been elected into membership because we think he possesses the quality of a regular Terran.
It's my pleasure to introduce Mark Christian. He is a native of Enterprise, graduated from Enterprise High School in 2008, attended Auburn University, has a bachelor's degree in crop and soil, got tired of playing in the dirt and so forth, and has changed his profession into stockbrokering, and I'm not sure this is the proper time for that, but anyway, him and his wife has relocated in Dothan. She is a nurse practitioner. They have 2 Spaniard dogs that they like to spoil, and we would like to welcome to the Rotary Club. Thank you. He was previously associated with the Enterprise, that way, so we'll pick one up from them. Thank you.
Okay, so Mark, you will be called on from time to time to serve. Wear the badge at the meeting so that Heather can help track our attendance, and we just are proud to have you. Let's give him a standing ovation.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody? Good. It is my pleasure to introduce a true Dothan success story, Jack Martin. Jack is between practices right now, and I begged him to come in and give us a visit. So I'm thrilled that he's here. Jack's parents are Neil and Lori Martin. Neil is here today. We appreciate him being here. He has 2 sisters, Miley and Margaret, and he graduated from my alma mater, Northview High School, in 2019. Just some stats on Jack, just so you realize what kind of greatness you're sitting with today. Jack was a 3-star prospect and top 50 kicker in the nation in the class of 2019, according to ESPN. Was listed as the nation's number 16 kicker by 247 Sports out of high school. The Northview High School finished 7. His senior season, 8 for 10 on field goals and a 42-yard punting average. Touchbacks on 39 of 42 kicks, made a career-long 53-yard field goal, finished junior season 11 for 13 on field goals with a 40-yard punt average, and he also played soccer. In 2019, he committed to Troy. He handled all but 7 of Troy's kickoffs as a freshman in 2019. During his rookie season, averaged 53.5 yards per kick with 23 touchbacks. Helped Troy lead to rank 17th nationally, allowing opponents an average of just 17 yards per kickoff. I've got this video that I want, well, this is on rolltide.com. So if you go and look up any players, that's his page. And that picture is really kind of cool. Kind of shows the background and the intensity of what he's got going on, because he's about to be a hero or a zero, depending on if he makes this. But I've got this video that they, I think WDHN did about 11 months ago, and it's whenever he signed on for Alabama, which kind of puts it all in perspective to y'all.
Kicking off sports from Dothan to Troy to Tuscaloosa, a Wiregrass athlete is living out his childhood dreams of playing for one of the best football programs in the country.
After spending the past 2 years at Troy, Jack Martin will now be suiting up for the Crimson Tide.
It's a dream come true because ever since I started playing football, my dream was to play at a big school. So really excited about that. Really big crowd and all. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
The 2019 Northview grad loved his time at Troy, but knew transferring to Alabama was the best opportunity for his kicking and punting career.
I mean, you really can't get any better. And but really, I think the thing that stuck out for me is just opportunity for me. I think it's gonna be a good fit for me coming in and hopefully get played right off the bat.
His sophomore year as a Trojan, Martin averaged 46.1 yards a punt on 25 attempts. Martin says Alabama plans to use him for punts and kickoffs and possibly as a backup kicker on field goals. As he takes the next step toward his goal of playing in the NFL, he's thankful he has his hometown supporting him.
Half the Dothan's at least Alabama fans, so that's gonna be awesome being able to have those guys support me and really just play for the best team in the country.
While many people in his hometown are Crimson Tide fans, Martin was raised in a family of loyal Georgia Bulldogs. But now Martin's mom is already stacked up on Crimson Tide gear.
She's already got Alabama flags lined up in my front yard, so she's excited.
Martin can't wait to play on one of football's biggest stages, but his favorite moment was right here in the Wiregrass under the Friday Night Lights.
I believe it was 2017, I hit a game-winning field goal at Enterprise here in Northview, so that's still by far my favorite moment playing football.
Jack has 3 more years of football eligibility. Once he's settled in Tuscaloosa, he's excited to find out what exact role he'll have on the team.
Excellent. So in 2021, he signed on with the University of Alabama, and for half of the class in here that doesn't know anything about Auburn or Alabama or could care less about Alabama, he is right now behind Will Reichert. He's Alabama's top kicker, and he is actually all SEC, and he's 5th in the nation. So that's the kind of competition he's up against. Last year, Will was 22 for 28 on field goals and 71 for 72 on extra points. So, but just to give you an idea of what Jack did do in 2021 when he did get in, he recorded 5 kickoffs for 297 yards with 3 touchdowns. And in the New Mexico State game, he tallied his first points, which I have a video of that too. And keep in mind, this game was close. Okay, and so Saban brought him in. He's going to kind of save the day. And here we go. Dothan. They mentioned Dothan.
29-yard field goal triangle. It's 59 to 3.
Yes, sir. So we're proud of him, and that was his first points. And I think you will find his journey through recruitment, the transfer portal, playing for Alabama, and now getting paid millions by Milo's T interesting. Wait a minute. Okay, sorry. Please join me in welcoming Jack Martin to Monday Rotary.
How y'all doing? Thank you for having me. But so I'm Jack Martin, like Mr. Charles said. I went to Northview and I played 2 years at Troy, and now I'm currently just finished my first year at Alabama. And, I guess you could either call me a senior or a freshman, because, I have 3 years eligibility left, ever since COVID hit, so now I have, I mean, I guess a freshman, so I'm not gonna grow up anytime soon if I don't have to. So, yeah, so I'll take y'all through my journey and, when I first started playing, so, I always started off a soccer kid, played soccer probably ever since I was 3, 4 years old, always kicking the ball, and then, I was so one-sided on soccer, never wanted to play any other sports, and, I remember my dad, he was like, he kept, I guess, nudging me to go out there and kick at a random field, and, so I finally did, and then, turned out I was okay at it with no training and all with a coach or anything. And so this was 7th grade, this picture up here, this was my first middle school game. We found our first kicking coach. He actually played in the NFL for a year or two, for the Tennessee Titans. So he helped me out a lot. And, this was when we were in Madison, Alabama, and, when I was in middle school. So I got to kick my first few kicks in a middle school championship game, which is pretty cool. And, then we moved on to Dothan, and, I trained with Brian Jackson. He's a kicking coach locally, and, he actually works at HA, but, I've been with him since 8th, 9th grade, and, trained with him about and talked to him. He's been my mentor through this whole process with getting to Troy, and then ended up getting in the portal and then going to Alabama. So he was the guy I kind of leaned on because he had experience through it when, he was my age. So this was me in 9th grade at Northview. My first year, just still kind of learning how to kick, getting used to the whole deal. But, this was, my first field goal. So this was my sophomore year. I sat behind my freshman year at Northview. I sat behind Kobe Nen, which was also honestly the best thing for me because, he was a senior when I was in 9th grade, and, he kind of showed me the ropes through the recruiting and kind of helped me all out. So I mean, I wasn't completely by myself through the whole process. So I had people to help me out. I got to look up to him through my 9th grade year, kind of learn the ropes to play my next 3 years at Northview. Where I did, field goals, kickoffs, and punts, did all 3. And, like I said, and, I guess y'all saw in the interview, so, probably my best moment still, to this day playing football is, it's hard to beat the first game I got to go in, at Alabama and Mercedes Dome against Miami, but, this is still probably my favorite moment. We, first time in 15 years beating Enterprise, and, I wouldn't say I beat Enterprise's team, and we were down 22-0 at halftime, and then they all came back, and I just had an opportunity to hit a little chip shot, but it was all fun. But just some more pictures through Northview, and my senior year at Northview, I really didn't know if I was going to play college football. I was just really kind of playing football for fun, and really my junior year, I kind of found out like had some college coaches kind of looking and coming in the door at Northview, and working with Brian, he kind of had some interest in me, and so I was like, maybe this is what I want to do. So my junior and senior year, we spent all summer, got an occasional beach trip, but spent most summers traveling to colleges and kicking in front of college coaches. And I was actually committed to South Alabama before Troy. That's where I was going. That's where I wanted to be. But here's my mom and dad, and us taking our visits at Alabama. I'm in South Alabama. This is Rice as well. I mean, we traveled all over the place. The recruitment process is really, it looks good on the outside. People saying you get to put on take all the cool pictures with the jerseys and stuff. And I'm thankful to have the opportunity to do that. But it is a lot harder than you think because it's very stressful. Because really, as a kicker, they're very limited on scholarships to give. It's not like other position players. They either don't want to give a kicker a scholarship where it has to line up with the guy that's already there. So it was hard trying to find the schools that really needed a guy. So it was really stressful. And then at the end of the day, I've always wanted to be at a big school like Alabama. So it was hard because I feel like a little overlooked coming out of high school. They're still Division I programs, great programs like this Rice, South Alabama, Troy, just a little bit smaller, but still great schools. This was Georgia Tech. Sadly didn't work out, but Houston. This was actually my first scholarship offer at FIU. The coach, it was pretty cool. I got to try on a Super Bowl ring. He had a Super Bowl ring, which was pretty cool. And so that was awesome. His name's Butch Davis. But this was FIU. That was my first scholarship offer. And that's when I got South Alabama and Troy and all that. But South Alabama again. There's Kobe Nen, who I backed up my 9th grade year. He helped me out a lot in Northview and gave me a good person to look up to. And then Troy, actually, y'all might know Bratcher on the left. He kicked at HA and he played at Troy, and he left right before I got there. Yeah, so here, this head coach of Troy. So I committed to Troy right before or about halfway through my senior year of high school, and that's where I wanted to go. And then I played 2 years. My freshman year, I handled kickoffs, and my next year, I got to also signing day. Sorry, going backwards a little bit. This is my whole family, but signed to Troy, which was great. And so yes, my freshman year, I got to handle kickoffs, and that was a great experience to actually get, because a lot of people don't get to play right off the bat as freshmen. And I thought that was great for me to give me some experience and feel comfortable, because I mean, football is football, going from high school to college. I mean, nothing really changes kicking the ball, but it is a little different. It's a lot more intense. And Northview, you just go out there, have fun, didn't practice too much. But college is a lot more serious. But so I'd go out there, got my experience my freshman year, which helped me. My second year at Troy, I got to handle the punting duties, where I'm a kicker who really just kind of learned how to punt. And I did really well at Troy punting, and I finished, I believe, the #1 net punter in the country, which was great. And after that season, there was a few like disagreements at Troy, and but really it was mainly I know Coach Saban, he always talks about creating an opportunity for yourself, and the opportunity that's given to you. And I believe at Troy, I created an opportunity for myself to go and play at a bigger platform, and at least get on a bigger stage, which was my goal. I'd love to play at a big school, and especially with my dreams and aspirations to play at the next level. I feel like Alabama has all the tools and necessities you really need to get that done. Great mentors, obviously, Coach Saban. But so yeah, so I'll talk about the transfer portal, and also I got in the transfer portal right actually before last summer. It was kind of last minute, and I talked with the Troy coaches, and felt like that this was the best opportunity for me. And I know there's like a lot of hashed out stuff. I'm sure y'all seen with the transfer portal and NIL deals and Coach Saban and the whole Jimbo Fisher ordeal, but which is crazy to me. But I was going to talk about my perspective, and I might be a little biased because Coach Saban, I'm kind of siding on his side. But with the transfer portal, I mean, I feel like it's a great thing, but nowadays I feel like it's misused, and I'm sure a bunch of y'all feel that way as well if y'all are big into football. But it can be used as like, and for my example, I mean, we had a few disagreements in Troy, and I feel like if you create an opportunity to somebody who was overlooked in high school, and you create an opportunity for yourself to go play at a bigger stage at a Power 5 school like Alabama, you can go and do that. That's what the transfer portal allows you to do. And also, if there's a coaching change or any disagreements with the coaches, it almost gives you a second chance, and which is good for all college athletes and young guys like us, because we always make mistakes. But it gives everybody a second chance, and but I feel like nowadays it's misused, especially with NIL deals. I mean, our quarterback's he's a millionaire, and he's 21 years old. It's crazy. So I mean, this allows, which is good. It can be good and bad. So Coach Saban always says, if you have the opportunity to create money based off your name, image, and likeliness, that's a great thing for you. I mean, because the main goal is to make some money on the side, especially as a college athlete. And if you can do so and have the opportunity, that's great. But nowadays, you can see that like some guys will get offered to leave their school and go in the portal, and which I believe that's misusing the whole transfer portal and NIL deal, and just offering guys to basically bribe them to come to school, but and not letting the kid make his own money. They're basically giving it to him. So that's kind of my take on the transfer portal. I feel like it's a very good thing, but it's turning into a very bad thing and being misused and kind of changing the whole realm of college football. But yeah, so I ended up getting to Alabama, and this was actually my first week. We got to take some photos. So it still didn't really hit me until like halfway through the season. I'm like, really at Alabama? So because it happened so fast, I had no clue I was going until May, and then summer workout started at the end of May. So it was pretty last minute. Got a place to live, and happened so quick, and just kind of like, oh, this is really happening. But anyways, I remember walking in to Alabama the first day. I couldn't even figure out how to open the door because everything's so fancy. So they thought it was country come to town with the finger detector to unlock the door, and I'm like still trying to figure out during summer workouts. They'll have a screen that videos us and like tracks our weight, and also they have all the bells and whistles to use. And it took me all summer to figure out. And they thought I was, I guess, just a little country hick from Dothan, not knowing how to use all that stuff, but. Yeah, no, so Alabama, it is also good. I can give you all a perspective on two different programs because they're both Division I programs, and I've been at both and experienced Alabama for a year. And my first time at Alabama, I feel like the success at Alabama, the reason why they have this success that they do is really because the culture that's been installed there, that Coach Saban's installed, it's all respect. Everybody respects the coaches, and Troy was a great place and all, but when Coach Saban walks in the meeting room, there's no talking. Everybody's sitting up straight. So he'll get after you if you're messing around, you know. But I believe that's a big thing, and they have a lot of, like I said, bells and whistles that completely help you out. So I probably eat better at Alabama than I do at home. No offense to my mom and dad's cooking, but they have a meal plan. So I've actually a big difference between Troy and Alabama. Troy was a big heavyweight. Troy's probably a stronger team than Alabama, I would say, lifting weights wise. But Alabama, I remember when I was walked in my first workout, there was all the guys helping us out with the workouts, and I looked at them and I was like, half the coaches look like they've never touched a weight in their life. And they're all sports scientists, and that's really the main difference. Troy is, you have the buff guys, how much weight can you deadlift and all, and Alabama's more speed and sports science into all the workouts and stuff. So I've lost 30 pounds just being in Alabama in a year, just based off like the workouts and the meal plan they'll have you on. So I can get a New York strip every night or grilled chicken every night, and I eat every meal almost near about every day there. Every morning for breakfast, I'll eat 8 egg omelet. Yeah, they'll load you up, and yeah, that's probably my favorite part about it. But, yeah, so when I got there, that was a great adjustment. So after being there, they brought me in, preferably as a punter. After what I did at Troy for my year, I punted at Troy. They brought me in to punt. I got there in the summer, and then, like I said, I was a kicker who kind of learned how to punt. And I got there in the summer, and they really thought I was a better kicker than I was a punter, which I agree with them. And Will, like I said, this is his last year, and coming up this season, they kind of told me we just want you to kind of stick with kicking and focus on that because they knew I'm an older guy, but I guess I got to get a lot of years of eligibility, like I said. So I still have 3 years to play. So I redshirted this past year. I got to play in 4 games, and actually this was my first scrimmage in the stadium during fall camp, first field goals. And Alabama, I believe, has helped me out a lot coming from Troy. When you can kick with Nick Saban, the greatest coach in my opinion of all time, and standing right behind you, I believe that's better than any pressure than that's in the stands on Saturday. Honestly, yeah. And actually, funny story, I don't know if y'all find this funny, but my first week we were kicking field goals, and I remember we were at practice. He stands behind you like that every time you kick. And I remember us kickers will pull our knee pads up above our knees. And I believe it was like my second kick, and I guess he noticed my knee pads were up, and I was about to go. They were about to snap the ball, and he said, "Stop." And then he didn't say the nicest words, but basically told me to pull my knee pads down and stop the whole kicking we're doing. I about had a heart attack. That was my first week. But, yeah, no, that was funny. And his best compliment is probably not saying anything. So when he doesn't get on to you or doesn't say anything, that's a compliment from him. And that is. And at practices are definitely they try and make it as game-like as they can. And so every player is really prepared for the game. Practice is probably harder than the game. And practices last about 2.5 hours, and it is constant yelling and hectic for 2.5 hours. I mean, it's crazy, but it brings the best out of players. And like I said, Alabama has the best competition. Like Will above me has feel like I've made huge strides, especially being behind him, because competition brings the best out of everybody. And being behind him, I've learned a few things, and because he has a lot of experience, and like I've learned a lot of things, gotten a lot better kicking wise, and really just excited for what's to come at Alabama. But this was actually my first game. We played Miami in the Chick-fil-A Bowl in the Mercedes Dome, and I remember standing out there that I finally got to go in, got to kick my first kickoff, and I remember running out of the tunnel, and I've never been down low with that many people in the stadium before, and I thought it was the craziest. I mean, I love it. It's awesome. It's crazy getting to run out there and just be a part of all those people there to watch all of you guys, and then look at me. I actually look like a football player right there compared to these other guys. But yeah. So first kick, got to kick off 2 kickoffs this game. Kind of goes through some of the kicks. And this was the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. So that was great. We got to play Cincinnati. And just being there for the week and getting to experience something like that is crazy, because there's only 4 teams in college football a year that gets to do that. Not everybody can say that they've been to the college football playoffs. And I thought that was an unreal experience, getting to be a part of that and just learn and have that under my belt for the future, because I'm sure Alabama will be making another appearance. But yeah, so learning from all these guys there, and just, I mean, it's just unreal experience being there with all the people and all. And then this was also another kick. I got to kick, I believe this was the Mercer game. I got a few kickoffs as well. And so they were pretty transparent with me about how they wanted me to just stick with 4 games. And because you can play 4 games as a redshirt and not burn your eligibility. So I got to play in 4 of the games this week, tore them up. But few of these kickoffs. Field goals. This was a picture, actually my first field goal that Mr. Charles showed up on the screen. And we actually just recently had A-Day. I had a pretty well A-Day. I got to kick, and they ended up pulling me out because the white team was tearing up the crimson team. So pulling me out at halftime, but I ended up getting 3 field goals and then a PAT, which was a great experience. And Alabama, I would say it's a cutthroat business. So Coach Saban says if you get your opportunity, you better take advantage of it, because if you don't, they can go and get the best. I mean, Alabama can get the best of the best. Everybody's replaceable, and he says that. So it's great to see. I got to go in there and kick 3 field goals and execute, and that's really about how it is. I remember one time when I went in the game. This is just an example of how cutthroat it can be. They told me if you don't, or the field goal I got, if you don't make this kick, you probably won't get any more opportunities. So running out there, I mean, it's pretty nerve wracking. It is, but yeah, I've been doing it, I feel like, for so long, and it's kind of natural now, and just can't let that get to you. But yeah, that's really it. It teaches you the perform in pressure moments and take advantage of your opportunities. That's all he talks about. He probably says the word opportunity 100 times a day. He really does when he talks to the team. But this was Texas A&M, actually the loudest place and the craziest place I've ever been. Sadly, we lost, but that was a crazy experience and a great game. Getting to be there and experience that. I'm just having that under my belt for the next 3 years. It just makes it a lot easier, because coming right from Troy, a big change from Troy to Alabama, coming with just from maybe 15,000 fans to 100,000 people watching you. It's a big change, and then a play of football can last. A kick, you try to kick the ball in a second or less than a second and a half. So it happens like this, and I believe like being to learn for this first year will slow everything down for me. Hopefully, if I get the opportunity to play, and just keep competing. And that's it. But I'll talk a little bit about just kind of how a day in the life is, because I mean, really, it's just a college athlete's kind of hard. We'll wake up, you have a breakfast check, so you're required to eat 3 meals a day, or at least check in. And so 7 to 9, go and get breakfast, and we'll have 2 workout times. I'll work out at 6:30 group, so wake up 6:30, work out, go and eat breakfast, and then you'll have your classes, and they'll class check everybody to make sure you're going. And, then we'll have, practice. We'll have practice in the afternoon. That starts, meeting start at 2. We'll meet for an hour and a half. Practice will start at 3:45 and, we'll practice until 6 o'clock. And, tutoring at 9, tutoring at 9 o'clock. Believe that. So I'm up from 6:30, an occasional nap every now and then when I can squeeze one in. But, basically 6 to 10 is just going nonstop with football. So it is a lot harder than what people think, because I know a lot of people just see all these guys going out in the games and just super thankful. It is a lot of hard work, but very thankful to be able to do this and have the opportunity to come and talk to people like this and to be out in front of a bunch of people and take advantage of what I have, hopefully with opportunity in my next 3 years. But yeah, I think I've hit everything, but if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask, 'cause, yeah.
Does icing really affect the kicker?
I feel like it helps me, actually. I feel like it helps, because like I said, being in a football game, everything happens so quick, you know what I mean? So icing, I feel like it kind of slows everything down and lets you, not really think about it, just slows the game down for you and, lets you take a breath at least. So I honestly feel like it helps. I feel like it's helped me. I don't know. Every kicker is different though. Every kicker is different. But, any other questions?
I noticed in Tuscaloosa, they'll put the net up on the north end zone, but they don't.
The student section. Yeah, so I guess they think the students are gonna keep the footballs. Yeah, and y'all nice people will return them to us. So yeah, and we'll prefer to kick the y'all, because we'll have our own personal ball shaggers, especially I'm sure you sit behind there and your sons get to throw them back to us and all. So yeah, that's why they do it. The students won't return them to us. Yeah, y'all, any more questions? Because sure I missed something.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, that's right. It's still a little different coming off the tongue for me because, like I said, we grew up Georgia fans and I was in Troy, and still it's just a little weird saying it still for a year, but I'm gonna get used to it.
Go Dogs.
Yeah, I can't say it anymore.
Can you hang around maybe for a minute? We got lots to cover today. We really appreciate you coming. Thank you, Troy.
Thank y'all.
Great program. I enjoyed it so much. Thank you, Dothan City Schools and these students, and you were excellent parents for being here to support them. Our 4-Hers, thank you guys so much for coming, and your parents, and we just appreciate you. Mark, if you want to go outside and shake hands with people as they leave, I have a very special assistant coming. This is, in 1 second, we're gonna ring that bell, but this is Bruce's grandson. Asher McNeil. Remember, next week, we will not be here. We will skip a week. It's Memorial Day. And then the week after that, is June the 6th. And Bruce has our program, the Southeast Health Stroke Team is the topic that we'll be covering that day. So thank you guys for being here. Let's stand and say our 4-way test of what we think, say, or do. Is the truth. Is fair to all concerned. Will build goodwill, better friendships, and will be beneficial to all concerned. Asher, ring that bell.
Good job, Asher.